Hello, welcome to another episode of Cooking at Home with Bonnie. On this episode, we'll be talking about the value of home cooking. Just kidding. I just wanted to see what it would feel like to be on a cooking show because that has always been a fun little dream of mine. But on a real note, let's talk about really why cooking at home is valuable. So let's talk about the basics first. So it saves money, obviously. It brings joy, and it gives us more control over the things that we're eating. So, for instance, we can make the healthy meals at home. It supports your immune system when you're choosing the foods that are working for you, that are healthy. It can help with disease, like heart disease, diabetes, especially with any autoimmune disease, because now you're in control of making the food that is right for your body. So it eliminates a lot of the processed foods and the chemicals and all the things that are in a lot of foods that we don't cook at home, restaurant foods, things like that. So that's a huge value. And then it also helps with your sleep. It helps with, it can help improve your sleep because the foods that you're eating, not only are they healthy for you, your body can break them down a little bit more easily, which helps your digestive system. And it helps your sleep in a plethora of ways. But it's about the act of authentic nourishment. So I feel like it's a really great way to show up for yourself. It's an act of self-care, self-love, and it nourishes the nourishment impacts your body in multiple ways. So it's multidimensional nourishment. So although it does help us on a physical level, obviously, it also helps us emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So it can be like a satisfying experience. So when we're cutting up the vegetables, when we're smelling all the herbs and the spices, we're trying different new flavors, and then we're consciously aware of each bite that we're taking. We're not having all the distractions around, and we're being grateful for the meal that we've created. So there's just so much that goes into cooking at home if you really allow yourself to be in that moment, be adventurous, try new things. There's just so much value to it. And then some of the tips that I would say is experiment. So try different flavors, different spices, different vegetables. I feel like when you eat seasonally, that kind of helps too with experimenting for what's in season, and then keeping it simple. So when you keep it simple, it kind of takes the burden off of the stress of, or the expectations that you might set for yourself when you're cooking. So when you keep it simple, you just pick a recipe that has a handful of ingredients, especially if you're new and you're mostly on the go and you're used to eating out. Just starting simple, again, with the whole mindset of taking baby steps into maybe learning to cook a more extensive meal, which you might find that actually brings you joy. Cooking might be a new hobby that you pick up. So another tip I would say is to switch things up. So again, kind of experimenting, switch up the kind of seasoning you might use on the meats, or maybe the type of pasta, something as simple as that, using a fettuccine versus a pen pasta, that kind of simple things, just to keep it exciting and be more creative, which cooking does help you with, that nourishing that creative side of you, which really is important for our mental health. And then cook once, eat twice. So that's another key to not get exhausted and tired from cooking at home, is when you cook something, make sure that you have leftovers for the next day. And I know sometimes that's hard, especially when we're feeding like a large family. Like, it's hard for me, and we're only a family of 4, but it really does help with the exhaustion of cooking. So keep that in mind when you're making the recipes too. Try and like make that little bit extra so that you don't have to cook the next day if you don't want to. And then the last thing is, I would say consider whole, fresh foods. So limit the processed ingredients, you know, limit the kind of like the extra added. Try and find like clean, simple recipes, because not only will that nourish your body better, but I feel like it helps you develop better cooking skills as well, because you're going to replace those processed foods with other things that are going to be better for you. So I think that's it. All in all, I think that the main takeaway is to just really enjoy the experience, be in the moment of while you're cooking, you know, put on some music, just really get into it, and start simple, easy, clean, simple recipes. Your body will love it, and it'll really just get you into it and make it a joyful, nourishing experience. So that's all I have for you today, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your time here, and I'll probably see you again soon. All right, thanks guys, bye.